In this video, we're going to take you through the advanced cost tracking dashboard. We're going to begin by talking briefly about how to get the data to display. We're then going to look at the actual dashboard itself, and working through each of the headings, we're going to start with overall performance. Then we're going to look at job project gross profit performance. We're going to look then at job performance, and lastly, we're going to look briefly at costs by category. Now, to begin, to access the advanced cost tracking dashboard, we're going to begin here on the dashboard. And at the top left-hand side here, we're going to have two tabs where we're going to click on the reports tab. And this specifically is what we're going to be discussing here today. Two things I want to mention before I go through the advanced cost tracking dashboard in more detail is, firstly, this video is really just meant as a high-level overview. We're not going to go through all of the specific calculations and break down the formulas behind it. If you are curious, then we would direct you to our help articles, which can be found at help.buildexact.com. And then in the search section here, you can search for advanced cost tracking dashboard. And that's where you'll find this article, which has quite a bit of detail as to how we break down each of those calculations. So for those of you that are curious, this would be a great first point of call. The second thing I want to note is that in order to get those costs to show in the advanced cost tracking dashboard, we need to be entering the costs in either via purchase orders or work orders. Now, for that, we also have another fantastic article here that can be found by going into our help section and again, searching for purchase orders and work orders. And essentially, purchase orders and work orders are going to be the vehicles in which we're going to get the cost data into the job, which will then pull through on the advanced cost tracking dashboard. So two key things I want to mention. If you're new to BuildExact, or if you have been entering costs in a different way, but are now looking to use the advanced cost tracking dashboard, then please absolutely do watch the purchase order and work order videos, and that will explain the process in a little bit more detail. Going back into BuildExact though, so as we look at the dashboard, it's broken up into roughly 4 sections here. So we start off with overall performance, then we have job projected gross profit performance, then we have job performance, and lastly, we have the costs by category. So starting at the top here, our overall performance is really meant as a 40,000-foot view as to how you're tracking and relating to profitability and gross profit percentage of your jobs. So starting on the left-hand side, we do need the job to be created. So we'll see the job description name, then the reference number. So helping you to identify which job in relation you're looking at. Then we have planned gross profit. So that's going to be the profit you intend to make from this job. Then we're going to see the profit swell or decline, and that's going to be showing the change in profit since you started the job, taking into account where your costs have been over or under, is what you expected. We have the projected gross profit, which is going to show the profit that you're going to make based on the actual cost to date on the job, as well as those not yet incurred. We have the planned gross profit, which is what you expected or planned to be for the job initially. And then we have the projected gross profit percentage, and that's what your GP percentage will be now based on the job, based on the cost received to date and still yet to come. And lastly, we have the percent complete, and that's really showing you how far through the job you are from the cost perspective. And in general, the idea here is that the further along the job you are, the less opportunity you have to improve the overall projected gross profit percent. Next up, we have our job projected gross profit performance. And this is really just a quick visualization representing the above information. So on the left-hand side, you have essentially your planned profit, which you're intending to make. And then from there, on the left-hand side, we'll then be able to then see, as you move a little further along, you'll be able to see each job and how you're trending across that. And of course, for yourselves, you may have more or less bars in the middle there, depending on how many jobs you have active on the go. And on the right-hand side, this will then tell you what your projected profit is. Further down, we reach the job performance section, and this is really designed to allow you to begin to focus in on specific jobs. So here at the top, we can select a job and you can go between them. And from there, we have the ability to look across each of the major sections. So we have our profit plan, which is really just, again, showing the total project income plus the total change order income, and then to get a gross amount. And same with costs. And now that'll calculate down to the planned gross profit, and again, the planned gross profit percent. We have the profit performance, again, just really showing that same information above, but again, looking more specifically at this specific job. Then we have our cash flow in, and that will show us invoice to date, yet to invoice, the total thereof, as well as the cash flow out. Now, quick point I want to make here, just on the yet to spend, but this is really going to be focusing in on costs and ensuring specifically that you have and you are recording costs against the existing line items in the job where applicable. So just a quick point there. Again, the video here on how to use purchase orders and work orders will, again, touch base on that idea, but I just want to emphasize that that is a requirement in order for the yet to spend to fully calculate correctly. Then we have our future cash flow. So just looking at the overall net position. And last but not least here, we have the costs by category. And the cost per category here is really designed to help you understand the cost of your project broken down by category. So I can go ahead and give the category a click to open it up. And from here, you'll be able to see things like your yet to spend. And that's really just calculated as the estimate minus the actual costings of the project. And if there's no actual costings for a line item, then again, the yet to spend should equal the estimate. We then have the estimated amount. And that's pulling through from the original estimate, quoted details, reiterated in this section of the report. Then the actual, which is going to, again, be the actual invoices being entered into BuildXact. And once the invoice is entered in, that actual amount will appear here. And then we have the variance. So effectively, again, calculating as the estimate less the actuals. And if there is no actuals and nothing received, then this column should show 0. And that's it for the advanced cost tracking dashboard.